invite Chairman Mao, who was the convener of yesterday's meeting, to give you our position as regards to what took place yesterday. Chairman.
We are very concerned by the spate of insecurity. And as an expression of this concern, we consulted with our colleagues. It is true I'm the one who signed the letter calling the meeting, but it was not my meeting. It was a meeting leaders from Acoli sub-region. I contacted the Honorable Richard Todwong, and he was actually in Gulu for the purpose of that meeting. I contacted the Speaker of the East African Legislative Assembly, and he was in Gulu for the same purpose. I contacted the Honorable Hilary Onek, and he was actually on radio with us on Saturday night. And he had a function as guest of honor at the World Sickle Cell Day. And after that, he had to leave for Kampala because today he's being sworn in as a member of the cabinet. I met the leadership of the Acoli parliamentary group in Parliament last week and told them that it is important that we come home. And all of them have agreed that we need to come up with a common position. This problem does not affect only NRM leaders or opposition politicians. It is a common problem. Let me state the context of this problem. We know that guns have been silenced since the Juba peace talks. But there were many promises which have been made over the years. That is why on radio I stated that our problem as a community vis-a-vis the government of Uganda is not just about the attack on Opit and the attack on Gulu Barracks. I mean the Gulu police station. These may just be symptoms. The way the current government came into power was violent. And for us, we think we have always been misunderstood. The fact that you don't vote for a leader does not mean you are not law-abiding. An election is about a choice. If you don't want me to vote for another person other than you, then don't put the other person's photos and names on the ballot paper so that we only have one photo and one name. But it seems because we are a society that is built on a foundation of the love of freedom, there is nothing more that our people love more than to be free. So I would like to clarify that the people of this community always exercise their democratic choice. And I think that's the essence of democratic freedom. We should not be framed as rebels or as being anti-government simply because the incumbent regime feels that it does not enjoy popular support here. That in itself should not be an issue. Democracy is about choice. If I present myself and I'm not chosen, somebody else will have been chosen. And I should celebrate the fact that people have made a choice, not start mourning the fact that I have not been chosen. 2, from the Nairobi peace talks in 1985 to the 1988 peace talks between the Uganda People's Democratic Army of Colonel Angelo Okello, where they sat in Peche Stadium and made undertakings, to the Juba peace talks, our community has witnessed a series of broken promises. Now, life is built on promises. When you make promises, you have to keep them. If you can't keep promises, then you renegotiate. When I borrow money from the bank, I promise that I am going to pay. If the time arrives when I'm not able to pay, I go back to the bank and say, give me more time. That keeps the relationship healthy. I don't just disappear. You can now say, Yoweri Museveni, President of Uganda, is like a man who issued a check to General Tito Okello in Nairobi. He issued another check to Angelo Okello's UPDA at Peche Stadium. Then he issued another check to the LRA in Juba. All those checks have bounced. Instead of coming back and saying, look, the checks have bounced, 3 checks have been returned, marked insufficient funds. Many people see these things from the surface, but those are the deeper rooted issues. All of us who are here were on radio. We went to Garamba, we went to Juba. We told the LRA, come back home. We pleaded with them. All of you in the media were every day on radio telling our people, come back. Now they are back. They have waited 10 years. The documents signed in Juba are there. DDR, disarmament, demobilization, reintegration. Reintegration is social and economic reintegration. So it is true that there is a group which is experiencing extreme frustration with the lack of response to their needs. As leaders, we recognize that problem. And all of us here, including all those who were on the radio station, we said that anger must not be channeled in the form of armed insurrection. That anger is best channeled politically through legitimate leaders who will undertake to engage the government so that government takes responsibility. A lot of those who have survived this war feel abandoned. That's the whole foundation of what we are saying. But it seems that topic is a taboo. We must go everywhere and pretend that things are normal. Our message on radio was, it is okay to bring tarmac roads. It is okay to bring electricity. It is okay to bring industries. It is okay to bring these trappings of so-called development. But there are certain things which are intangible. You must feel a sense of dignity. If you are a slave, even if you are given a golden chain to chain your hands, you are still a slave. You are carrying a lot of gold, but it is a chain of gold. If you have a thorn in your foot, even if you wear the most expensive shoe, you will still not walk comfortably. That is the essence of our coming together. And there is absolutely nobody who disagrees with what I have said. Whether they are NRM, whether they are independent, whether they are FDC, whether they are DP, whether they are UPC, all of them agree. But it seems because we want to join forces as leaders of our people, that unity is a threat to those who want to cover up what is going on. Let me recap briefly what we saw. Was killed by UPDF fire. Of course, everybody knows that. The other soldier, is it Erico? Edema was also killed by UPDF fire. A vehicle belonging to the Prime Minister of the Acoli Traditional Institution was almost reduced to ashes. It was pulverized by gunfire from an armored personnel carrier. So it is not even true that the army did not fire recklessly. If you go to Landos, they were firing at random inside the hotel. The purpose of yesterday's rally was to demand the truth. There are people who know what is going on, but they are just fooling us. So, we want the truth. Why was the rally yesterday stopped? I think the rally was stopped because it was going to shine a bright light on the issues that are being hidden from public view. But that rally was a rally with a difference. It was bringing together people from all political shades. That rally was also supposed to demand for justice. We don't want to always keep begging. Please compensate our cows. Please compensate the loss. Compensation should not be based on the goodwill and kind-heartedness of Museveni. It should be based on a law which recognizes the claims as legitimate. That rally was also about peace. That is why when we left the stadium, the people were chanting, "We want peace, we want peace, we want peace." But also among the young people, there are those who were having other ideas. There are many people who think a peaceful approach to politics is useless. They keep warning people like me that we are wasting time in our press conferences and endless rallies. We know how gunmen who seize power behave. Sooner or later, you just replace one dictator for another. That's why we want to break the cycle of gun rule in Uganda, to break the cycle of violence. Now, instead of seeing yesterday's rally as an opportunity, the government saw it as a threat. I'd like to state clearly, and all of you can cross-check on my Facebook wall and Twitter account, we gave notice over 1 week ago to General Kaihura, the Inspector General of Police. His office has not communicated to us. But we took the letter to him on the advice of the DPC. It is the DPC of Gulu who told me that that kind of meeting
addressed the letter to the Inspector General of Police. And I told him, your copy is also around, and you are also invited. You have to come and account. I spoke to the commander of the 4th Division, UPDF. And indeed, he was on radio. Of course, he got a thorough grilling from phone callers and even from our members of parliament, because the things he was saying did not add up. But we can say 3 things that are important. He said, as far as the information UPDF has as of now, this cannot be categorized as an armed rebellion. Unfortunately, he was promptly contradicted by General Katumba Wamala yesterday on TV, who said, we are still investigating. It could be an armed rebellion. 2, he said clearly that they are holding some people who are giving them useful information. On our part, we demanded that the law should be followed and there should be due process. No detaining people in the army barracks, no detaining people beyond 48 hours before being produced in court, no torture. Those are our clear demands. And they are not just empty demands. They are based on guarantees of rights in the Constitution of Uganda. We all spoke with one voice and said, as far as anybody thinking about starting an armed insurgency here, we say no. Anybody who wants to start a rebellion will find a no parking sign on every inch of ground here. But at the same time, we must continue advocating for justice. And I think that is where the issues are sensitive, when we advocate for justice. Our MPs are now demanding a war victims compensation law. Our MPs are now demanding a national reconciliation law. Those are legitimate demands. Why doesn't the government want to engage us on those issues? Instead of going around saying, we are politicizing. We are not politicizing. We are responding to a problem. That's the essence of responsibility. Responsibility means ability to respond. And that's exactly what we are doing. We are exercising our ability to respond. Sometimes people misunderstand. I have seen the Honorable Gilbert Olanya in his battles, in his constituency. I think people have eventually accepted that he has been doing the right thing. That he is politicizing land issues. Okay, what is politics? Politics means collecting those who have a common problem and confronting those who are denying a solution so that they can reconsider, and then everybody works together to find a solution. That's what politics is about. Now, those who don't have this problem we are facing here, they are free to continue doing their other business. Actually, they are not invited if they are not interested. But those of us who feel this pain, I think it is our business. So we are not going to give up. We are still going to insist on a public meeting. But because if it was me alone, it would be very easy for me to say the meeting is going to go on today afternoon with or without the clearance of the Inspector General of Police. But I'm not alone. We must talk to everybody and then we agree. The police have accepted that the meeting should be rescheduled. Our people are in fear. But the police also wanted to entrap us in a confrontation. They thought we were going to incite the young people to start throwing stones and so on. Some of the policemen were even trying to lecture journalists on the freedom of the press and saying they have the power to just stop anyone. Fortunately, we seem to have a fairly sober DPC who unfortunately does not seem to have enough power because the orders from above are overbearing. Unfortunately, in this regime, sometimes you may be in office without being in power. You find yourself in office, but somebody else is in power. That's the dilemma that we face. So the poor man was there saying, look, I have failed to communicate with the IGP. How can a DPC fail to get a direct line to the IGP? I'm sure he just had a standing order. Don't allow that rally, full stop. I spoke to General Kaihura's ADC, and they were supposed to call me back. They didn't. There are so many questions begging for answers, but we want to insist that our struggle for truth, justice, and peace is open-ended. It is going to continue. Together with my colleagues, we left the police alone at Kaunda ground. I overheard one of them asking Honorable Yando Komaket, what's happening? Because we just started walking away, and the people started walking with us. Honorable Komaket said it is similar like what football players do. They call it an offside trap. Somebody rushes towards the goalpost, then withdraws suddenly, and you find yourself alone with the referee on the wrong side. We left because we had overheard the police calling for reinforcement from the barracks. And we know that the army is not trained to handle civilians. They are trained to handle other armed people. We love our people. We don't want our people to die. That's why we withdrew. Now, for purposes of whatever, whether they wanted to account, they threw some tear gas in town unnecessarily. I had already left. I was carried to the market. Then we passed through the rear exit of the market. I sat on a border, escorted by about 20 borders up to home. Now, behind me, the police claim that they are still trying to block me. I thank God that no one was injured, though the young people who had gathered for the rally were very angry. Others even wanted to start throwing stones. We restrained them. But we believe that our members of parliament will go and continue to advocate our cause on the floor, whether through personal statements, through presentation of papers, through public hearings. And as for me, I'll also continue standing with our people. This matter is for all of us. And we are not going to be silenced by guns. We will continue to speak up. We urge our people not to have any fear whatsoever.
Really uncalled for. You realize that when we sat together with the minister, Eli Ronet, the 4th Division Commander, when we were over the radio, we all agreed to have this very important meeting, talking to our people. Our major aim was to talk to the people of Acoli. We mobilized them from all the districts. People footed from Amoro, from Noya, from Kitgum, from Ade, with the intention of listening from the leaders. There was nothing like political mobilization. The major aim was to tell our people never to participate in any rebel activity. It was agreed by the 1st Division Commander and Honorable Minister Eli Rebecca. So we were quite surprised getting the information from the DPC that the meeting must be called off. I really feel this is very unfortunate. And the way I look at it, people are not happy when they see actually people trying to unite and come together. This is one of the ways of dividing the Acholi leaders. People feel happy when they see us tearing ourselves apart. The moment they see FDC, NRM, DP, everyone coming together for the common cause, they think that we are becoming more strong and stronger. They start fighting us. But as leaders, we shall not sit back. We shall continue telling our people. Even though they stopped our rally, we still demand for clear explanation on what happened in the Acholi sub-region. For us, we are quite confident that we do not have any rebel activity going on in Acholi. Even though the RDC of Gulu made mention clearly that there are other people who are being recruited in Amoro and Noya to join the rebel activities. For us, for the best of our knowledge, we are very confident we do not have anyone who intends to join war in Acholi sub-region. And even though there are other wrong elements are there outside, we are appealing to them that for us, we are not supporting anyone who will pick up guns to fight the government. We have other means of changing the government, but not fighting. We, the Acholi, we tried. We suffered for more than 20 years. Therefore, we shall never advise anyone to pick up guns again. So the government should stop dividing the leadership from Acholi sub-region. Let us talk to our people. Give us opportunity to address our rallies. The rally was not bad. So it was really quite unfortunate that the government stopped it. Right now, we are having a lot of suspicion on the incident that took place yesterday. The intention of stopping our rally. We are suspicious. Why is the government having that fear? What are they fearing? If leaders are talking to their people, why are you coming up with that force to stop it? So we are really not happy for what went on, but we shall continue pushing for the common cause. We have so many things that happen in Acholi sub-region. Only talking to our people, that will make them settle down. That will cool them down. If you do not want us to talk to our people, where do you think we shall have a forum again of addressing our people? So I really feel to the government, next time, never dare to stop any of the community gathering that we, the leaders, we planned. Because stopping will add on more anger to people. And right now in Acholi, everyone is not happy with the government.
Someone who knows and someone who is quite knowledgeable about child protection, women, and something like that. Why I joined the group yesterday, I saw it was about my land. It was about my people. The attack was basically in Gulu, and I grew up in Gulu, though I'm born from Pade. I'm an Acholi, and there was an attack in the police station, and my brothers were here coming. Then I was like, why don't I join them? I know what it would be to the young people, to the children of northern Uganda, if war is to get back, because the time of war, I was born during that time, 1986. I grew up during the period, and I was like, I should be with my brothers, so that when we address this conference, our people would really get to know what it means. But I got shocked yesterday that police was everywhere. In fact, they wanted to even shoot. They were ready for everything. I was like, where do these people want to take us? I was really, I don't know what to say, but I was really affected by what took place yesterday. It was nothing and completely nothing to do with politics. We were not even going to talk anything about politics. But politics came in, people thought we wanted to talk about politics. It was nothing to do with politics. It was about telling our people that once there are people or rebels coming here, just keep away from that, because we don't want the things that happened in northern Uganda to happen again. And besides, if you see from the age group, I happen to be the youngest MP. In fact, I'm even younger than the youth MP. That's the truth. I'm the youngest. They say Oscar is the what? But I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest MP. It's not just because of my body, but I'm the youngest MP. So I wanted to even what? Represent the youth there. I wanted to witness what was happening. If Oscar, our youth MP, was there, he would also represent the youth. But I was there also to what? To represent the youth and tell them maybe cool down, this is what we are supposed to do, we have to be peaceful. Life has not been good in northern Uganda during the times of the war. But I got shocked yesterday. For us, we don't hate the government, we love the government because we can't do anything without the government. We belong to the government and we are in the system. So we can't do anything like to maybe tell people this is what you're supposed to do and this, something like that. Thank you.
Give a reflection. Kiswahili says tafakari. I think the Acoli people are a community that have endured the impact of conflict for too long. The level of resilience that you find with the community of Acoli, it cannot be compared to any group in Uganda. Dating back to the Arab slave trade today, our communities have undergone series and patterns of trauma. The 25 years of insurgency had the greatest impact on our social life, on our economic life, on our political life. And to date, the energy that should be put in terms of repositioning ourselves to recover is being wasted. As the chairman Mao said, the Juba Peace Agreement was meant to completely remove the challenges that we faced. And that is why the DDR up to date has not been implemented. And this is becoming a conflict trigger. Because the conflict trigger are those issues that remain unaddressed as a result of violence. Look at the youth unemployment in northern Uganda. Look at those who returned and have not been reintegrated. They have not been resettled through the amnesty process. The child soldiers that have grown. And this is what we are beginning to witness, that you may have a group of population that have challenges in life, and those who feel that northern Uganda should always be in problems can easily use that group. And this is what is beginning to emerge. Actually, communities are not a laboratory for any war. We are not guinea pigs for anyone who would want to do anything in this country. And that is why the rally of yesterday had a very organic, inbuilt consensus. To have one platform with one voice to demand that we have no room for anybody that wants to bring conflict in northern Uganda. And that is all. But to our amazement, it was completely contrary to what we expected. What in mathematics is called inverse relation. We demand peace in northern Uganda.